Hello, welcome. My name is Nicole Thiara, Shohini Barman, and myself. So Kalyani, thank you so much for joining us here at Nottingham Trent University. I mean, we would have loved to have you here in person, but we didn't have the funding this time. But you have visited us twice here in Nottingham to talk to us about your amazing body of work, in particular your wonderful poetry and your novella Andabil that I love so much. And I'm going to show them Andabil, which I love. And I'm delighted that a UK publisher, Tilted Access, has brought out a UK edition of Andabil recently, so that we can all access this brilliant text more easily. So if you were watching from the UK and need to have a copy, it's much more easily available now. But today, we invited you to discuss, in the very first instance, your work as essayist, publisher, and editor of the important periodical Neer Ritupatra, an anti-caste Bangla periodical. I have been meaning to discuss this work of yours for a long time, and I just feel I have a better grasp of it now. But also, I'm not alone here to discuss this wonderful body of work. So I'll introduce everyone to you bit by bit. But first of all, so in today's CADALFEST, we will ask Kalyani Thakur Charal about her experience with editing and publishing the journal that is called Neer Ritupatra, which has been coming out for over 30 years, I think 33 years to be precise. Navigating through a time wounded by atrocities on Dalit students and the disenfranchisement of the Dalit population, Neer has emerged as a window to Bengali Dalit women's writing, Ambedkar, life writings, women's writing across Indian languages, comparative reflections on caste and race, literary practices amongst the Bengali schedule, tribe communities, etc., etc. So Neer Ritupatra attempts to make sense of anti-caste thought and intends to forge connections and solidarities across languages and geographies. So we'll discuss how this journey began, how Neer was produced and circulated, and how it survived all these years. And we're also going to ask about plans, for the future. In this conversation with Kalyani Thakur Charal, I'm joined by Dr. Shayantan Mondal, and I'm so delighted because he is the expert on Bangla Dalit periodicals. And I'm also so delighted that Shohini Barman will be joining us, who is currently writing a thesis on Dalit literature in West Bengal. We have been planning to we also, wanted to discuss Kalyani Thakur Charal's recent collection of critical essays, which I'm also incredibly excited to present here. It's called Chandalini Speaks, and it was translated and curated by Anurima Chanda, and it was published by Oren Black Swan. And this is the first time that people who don't speak Bangla, like myself, get a real insight into what essays written by Kalyani actually look like. The conversation will be followed by a Q&A, so if you have any questions, you are always very welcome to put them in the chat. Before we start, I wanted to say a few more detailed words about our participants. So Kalyani Thakur Charal is a Dalit feminist writer and a poet writing in the Bengali language. She was born in Bagula, Nadia district, West Bengal, within the Matua community, and that is very important to her. Her publications include 5 volumes of poetry, including I Belong Nowhere, also by Tilted Access, and Poems of a Chandalini in English translation, an autobiography, a collection of short stories, collections of essays, and various special issues of journals on topics such as folklore, water, refugees, and Dalit poetry. Her anthology of Indian women's writing, Dalit Likika, is also absolutely important, and it's been hugely successful in giving other Dalit women writers from Bengal a platform, and this was published with Shayantan Dasgupta and by the publisher Stree. Her groundbreaking experimental novel Andabil, that we already mentioned, or called Andabil and Some People, was published in English translation, first by Zuban and then most recently by Tilted Access, as I already mentioned. So the next person on our panel is Dr. Shayantan Mondal, an associate professor, presently the head of the Department of English and Other Languages at GITAM, Hyderabad in India. A graduate from the University of Hyderabad, Shayantan has been an Erasmus Mundus Fellow at the University of Oxford, and his areas of interest are print readership, 19th century literature, anti-caste studies, and translation. His current research traces Bangla anti-caste periodical culture from the 1960s to 2000, and its relationship with other Indian vernacular anti-caste print culture, particularly with Marathi print culture. In collaboration with Dr. Jondale Rahul Hiraman, he has created a website, and you can find details on our website, which provides access to around 10,000 pages of Bangla and Marathi anti-caste periodicals, and has already kind of generated quite a lot of exciting research. And we're really delighted that we can really plug this again. And last but not least, Shohini Barman. She is a doctoral candidate here at the School of Social Sciences in English at Nottingham Trent University. She holds a Bachelor of Arts and a Master of Arts degree in English from Jadavpur University in India. And her research interests include Dalit literature, Rajvanshi literature, translation, and South Asian studies. Her PhD thesis explores the politics of caste in Bengal through the study of contemporary Bengali Dalit literature and Rajvanshi literature, and Kalyani Thakur Charal's work forms quite an integral part of this, as won't be any surprise. So for more information about the participants and other events of this year's CADALFEST series, please visit the Bonington Gallery's website and our network's website. This CADALFEST series is funded by Nottingham Trent University, the University of Montpellier, Paul Valéry, and Bonington Gallery, and we're very grateful. Today's session will begin with a conversation followed by Q&A, so please, as I said, don't hold back asking any questions in the live chat or sending them via email if you follow the email in the live chat. So before we start, I would like to warmly thank Kalyani, Shantan, and Shohini for participating in this event. Kalyani, I've been meaning to discuss this part of your impressive body of work for a long time, so thank you for agreeing to do this. It's the part of your work that is, for me as a non-Bangla speaker, often the least accessible, so I'm really particularly pleased that Jandalini Speaks gives us some insight, into how your essay writing kind of how functions and what its purposes are. So I'm delighted that this publication has come out. I would also like to thank Bonington Gallery for organizing this event with us. Thank you very much. So let's get started. So Kalyani, I would just like to kind of give our audience who may have no idea about, the Bangla, Dalit periodical print culture, a bit of an idea. How did your journal, Neer Ritupatra, how did it start? There are not many people on this planet who start a periodical. How did it happen?
Actually, I started it as a wall magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we published some, after 1 year or 1.5 years, I decided I will publish as a printing issues.
And when you say wall magazine, which wall?
My other colleagues are not satisfied. They stopped me. Why do you publish it? It will be a lot of money. And then I said I will try, and then I will publish.
Excellent.
First issue was the writings of hostel boarder.
Yes.
Actually, at that time, I was in a hostel, and for education and others for service, when I came to Kolkata, the city, then it was a very difficult. It was very difficult to take any shelter. I have no relatives here. There are no more residential hostel or boarding house for working girls as well as student. Actually, when I was working, then I was also student.
Mm-hmm.
I do not completed my graduation. After my service, I completed my honors. Then post graduation, I also completed after my service. So there was no more or better or hostel or residential places for any, not only for me. Any other rural women was faced this type of problems.
So
for higher education or for higher education for their working girls hostel is very little number of working girls hostel here.
Yes, and I mean it's interesting, right? Because the first two articles, right, in a Chandalini Speaks, are about this issue, and I found it really interesting, even from the 90s, right? In the 90s, that was such a
How
big
do you,
issue.
the rural girls will go to higher education? Actually, all the higher education center like university or colleges, better colleges, all are in the city.
Yes, yes, of
How
course.
the rural girls will come to the city, and now there are so many ways, distance courses is available now. When we are reading or writing, then at that period it was not easy.
Mm.
Direct class, and then we take. And there were, at that time there are only 6 or 7 universities in Bengal. Now
Mm.
it is a lot of universities, and the way of studying distance education system is available now. At that
Yes.
time, distance education was not available.
So from the beginning, your journal really took on topics that were just really important for you, that you felt people
I
were not talking
collected the
about.
writings from various, so many hostels, from many hostels, and they were not only women, they
Yes.
were men also.
Yes, interesting. And when you say, oh, it started off as a wall journal, what do you mean? Which walls did you use?
Home away home, this problem I realize is, and how difficult to search a shelter, and then how I survived that period, I know very well.
Oh,
And
okay.
that was also a refugee life.
Yes, yeah, no, I can imagine it's brought out really well, even in the two articles that you mentioned. I had no idea. And when you started your journal, how quickly did how quickly did you go into printing, and how difficult was it to find, the was it easy to print the journal? Was it easy to find a printer?
No.
Was it
When
easy?
I started, then it was in letterpress.
Yes,
You
okay.
know, letterpress, not computerized.
Ah, yeah, yeah. So so how many copies did you have in your first printed journal? How many did you manage to?
300 copies.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Yes, you started small, and now how
Actually,
many?
all these are all, every issues is to aware the people. I like to say, to aware the people about these issues,
Yes,
about this matter. I only, this is my capacity to aware only 300 people. I can aware about water crisis, about refugee issues, about disaster, about reservation, about Ambedkar, about Motua religion, about Gautam Buddha. I tried to aware the people, or to reach my ideas up to 300 people.
but of course,
I can.
once you give one person the journal, they can give it to other people, right? So you could still reach more people. More people that more than one person could read the journal.
No, some issues we printed twice,
Ah,
like
excellent.
a short autobiography of Dalit women.
Yeah.
We printed it second edition.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, brilliant. Excellent. That's fantastic. So Shohini has a nice question about your journal. So Shohini, I'll let you ask your question.
Bolo.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tiara, for the kind introduction and for this opportunity. And Kalyani, my question to you is will also be about Neer right now. So I had the chance to read your autobiography, which is a brilliant piece of work. And there I really liked the part, like as you discussed, where it started as like Neer started as a wall magazine, a Diyal Putrika, and it was done during your stay at a hostel in Kolkata, and you did it with a lot of your and a lot of the women that were there, and as you mentioned, men and women around Kolkata that time, uh, and and then you go on to say about how Neer was like a place of refuge as an ashray for you, like a place of refuge for you. And you go on to talk about how Neer helped you go through difficult times in your life as well. And I also like this, the use of the word Neer as well, because it has a connotation of refuge, a connotation of solace, a connotation of peace. But interestingly enough, the things that you discuss in this magazine are not peaceful at all. They talk about discrimination, they talk about resistance, they talk about so many things. So, my question is, how do you find refuge in such difficult conversations? And also, do you still engage with Neer as a place for refuge to you? And do you think it has transformed into a place where Dalit women from Bengal have, like, found a refuge in Neer? Like, do you think that is the case?
There is a love story behind it. Behind it. Actually, I was engaged about 20 years with a person. He was my pen friend. Till date, I do not see him. They have a organization named NEST.
Yes.
NEST. Nest means need.
Yes, Basha, need. Yes.
When the conversation was broken, the later writing, I stopped my writing. Then I think I can do anything. This was my shelter. I take this as a support of my mental support. And I think this is the I think the period which I passed, that was honest time. That was a very good time. But if it was truth or non-truth, I think. But I think I can do something. I left him, but I take this name.
And is the journal as such? Does it feel like a refuge in some ways?
Actually, this is that time was my turning point, and then after that I become a writer.
So it was.
Before that, I was not so serious
chicken.
about writing, or literature. I was not serious. Or this was not my. Actually, my education genre was not literature. That was absolutely another science and then accounts.
So you learned to spread your wings in Neer with Neer. Excellent.
I am reminded of an anecdote about the beginning, and I'll just quickly share that. And that tells us about the passion Kalyani also had always when she spoke about the wall magazine. So, a traditional wall magazine in a hostel is put inside a wooden frame hanging from the wall. And where Kalyani stays, her ancestral place is called almost a 2 hours train journey and bus journey and an auto journey, a complicated process. Kalyani prepared that frame in the village with the help of her friends, carried it through the train and took it all the way to Kolkata so that the wall magazine can be inaugurated there properly. And this story stayed with me. I think I heard this almost 5 years back, but it stayed with me all the while. I thought I'll just share that. Thank you, Kalyani.
Recently, I also started another wall magazine by the children of our village. Last month, the last Poila Boishakh, that is Bengali New Year, we published wall magazine by the children of our village, and there it all decorated. They wrote, they draw the pictures on the paper, and we also the picture is in the phone on the gallery. All the
But talking
students,
about-
children make the wall magazine.
I think I saw parts of it when I visited you. You were training them and you're working with them for almost 2 months, you mentioned. So that's glad. But since we are talking about dates, tumi bolle Poila Boishakh, I have noticed in the copies that I have almost, I think, 15 issues. And I noticed, Kollanidhi, that most of these issues were published either on 16th August or 20th August, in between that. Could you tell us a little bit about this? Why did you
Actually,
maintain this?
it is very remarkable day, 16th August 1992. Chuni Kotal, a Shobor girl, who was who committed suicide for his for her professor humiliate her in the class, and then she committed suicide. So this day is very remarkable. And after the suicide of Chuni Kotal, Bangla Dalit Sahitya Sanstha, that is Chaturtho Duniya publication, was started its journey. So Bangla Dalit Sahitya Sanstha and Dalit movement started newly started in Bengal after Chuni Kotal suicide happened then. So I think this day is very important to me, I think.
And the particular
And
issue that I'm
remembering Chuni
reminded
Kotal
of.
also. Remembering Chuni Kotal also.
Yes. And the particular issue I have in my hand now, which is based on the life writings of women. The first issue in that 18th number, I think this is a 2017 issue. It starts with Chuni Kotal's Atmakatha. I'm going back to this question of refuge. I was seeing, a number of people whom I have seen you with, we have worked closely for over the years. Professor Meruna Murmu, Kanun Boral, Sriti Kona Hauladar, Lily Haldar, Pushpa Boiraggo, Aisha Khatun. So it was almost like we see their writings about themselves, their life writing. We see they talk writing about uh, Dalit personalities. We see them writing about varied topics. How was it working with all of them? And some of them were also editors of other periodicals like Sritikona. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience of working with all these people?
Actually,
Little bit.
to publish the issues, I come to contact with them before 3-4 months ago. I am chasing them. Here, Meruna is here, and Meruna like to say something.
Hello, I'm Varuna Burmo. I am a professor of history in Jadavpur University, and my name was mentioned by Shantun, so I thought I should intervene as to tell you how persuasive she is. Like every 15 days, she would call me up and tell me, "Have you written anything?" I initially I didn't know who she was. Then I thought, let me skirt off her but then she was so persistent, and I felt so ashamed that a person can be so persuasive. So I gave in. Actually, I really didn't want to write in her. I didn't know about Neer, and I thought that's a little magazine. I don't know how famous it is. Let it be, because I am into, like all of us, we are into academic journals and things like that. So peer-reviewed journals and all. I thought, what is this? So she is actually very, very sincere in bringing out this journal on the day Chuni Kotal was institutionally murdered by the state. So she makes it a point to call up people and make their life hell if they do not give in to her request. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
you.
Thank you. Yes, you're a force of nature. Sorry, Shantan, did you have another question?
Yes, I am also would like to have a follow-up question on the point that Kalyani raised about letterpress and not computerized. As far as my understanding goes, it was not easy to publish and get a printer for your if you're writing anti-caste. More so in the 90s or early 2000 when Neer started. So requiring a letterpress. So how did this printing happen smoothly? And it is a wonderful as I read it in Bangla, the Neer, it's a wonderful word. It's a simple thing. And so printing, was it a struggle for you, Kalyani, printing Neer Ritupatra regularly? Did you get support from any printers that you can walk in and get it printed? How was it?
No, actually, first issue was published from Kumilla Press, which is situated near Shialda. After that, I went to Vibhuti Printing Works. And Vibhuti Printing, then we regularly, all the books, most of the books are published from Vibhuti Printing Works. And that publishing house, that printers, not publishing house, that printers do most of the Dalit writings of Bengal. Most Dalit writers are his customer.
Thank you. And
So no, not only that. So many little magazine was at that time. So many little magazine was printed from that press. But now the trend is not like before. Young generation do not involved to do this type of work and this little magazine making or writings, literature. So the trend is not very good. Not
I
to,
am
I think
very
Dalit literature, in case of Dalit literature, Dalit young people are not, a large number of young people are involved for doing only for society. They most of them are coming for PhD, MPhil, for their career based, not only society based. Some of them are liable for the society and they do others works. And they think we should carry out it. We expect only carry out the caravan and go ahead.
right. Right. No, I'm sure we are going through, there are powers of transition and flows of different factors which will have an impact, I'm sure. But thank you for sharing with us this wonderful institution of Vibhuti Press, which has been publishing the majority of anti-caste Bangla writing
Majority of
for
Bangla
quite some
Dalit
time.
literature and
You
little periodicals.
Yeah, that's very, very, very important. And you mentioned Little Magazine. I'm reminded of something. And so I heard from my seniors in universities and colleges that it was not easy to sell anti-caste periodical in the Calcutta Book Fair. Even in the little magazine pavilion, you will not get an entry.
Last, I think up to 2000 and 2010-11, up to 10-11, nobody come to us. Then in a little magazine fair, some academicians came to me and asked how many issues you published. Give me all those issues, all the issues. Then they read it. After that, the teachers sent their student to us. Then the students purchase it, and but some people are interested, those who are not related with academic or academia or for their career. Some people are only come for know what is what work they are doing, and they are, most of them are Dalit peoples of our villages or others part of the, not only city but also urban area, rural areas also.
And that
And
was the
I realize the rural people are very much searching this, but our marketing and others market distribution is very weak. We only attend 2 or 3 fair which are organized in the city. Little magazine fair, Dalit academy fair, and book fair. We only attend these 3 fairs. But I know the people are very much interested and they like this type of critical writings, like Ambedkar's life, Buddha's life, Dalit great man lives, and like this type of critical writings. They are not very much interested to creative writings.
very interesting. That is
Dalit people, basically Dalit people. This is my experience. I search that and I realize that they are interested and they search also. They come to us, but they are interested to critical writings about this type of writings.
so. Is that
And
interest?
particularly these issues with Monishi and Mohioshi issues, here are so many Dalit men and great men and women and writings. The women are writing about this. All the Dalit women are writing about these personalities. It is before these no writings about this Dalit political people or Dalit creative writings people or Dalit Kobi gun artist, Kobi artist. All these are these issues are not written by women before. Not only Dalit, others educated women do not write about it. Not only this, no Bengali women journal has published about Ambedkar, about Gautam Buddha. This type of series they do not, never, no Dalit women write about Ambedkar. Other women, not Dalit women. We first done this.
Thanks for reminding me us of that issue also. I remember
A
you
lot
had an article
of
on
women
Buddha.
feminists in Bengal, but no feminist mention about Ambedkar, and they do not write about Ambedkar.
Right. And to talk about that issue a little more, I think I have read your writing on Buddha in that particular issue that you showed us. And I actually discovered Vijay Sarkar's, there was an article on Vijay Sarkar as well as on Raicharan Sardar. So yeah, it's another wonderful issue that you have reminded us.
Goyanath বিশ্বাস, Jogendranath Mondal, all the political leader of that period, at the period of Ambedkar. They are Bengal political figures.
So I want to understand that you're talking about that people did not write about this, and you wrote. Is this what made you, though poetry is your favorite genre, close to your heart? So is this what inspired you to write essays?
Actually, when I read anything, first I like poetry, then I also read, I like to read essays, then short story and novel. So both of these two are my genre, essay and poetry. And I feel very, I write Andharbil. Andharbil takes time 10 years. I am very lazy. Sometime I wrote it, then the diary was another place. So it takes more time, but when I write poetry or essays, it takes. But essay, I do not write essay easily. When I come to pressure of other seminar or either seminar nor any magazine or any periodicals want any writings. So I write essays due to pressure.
That's really interesting. But you're also good on putting pressure on other people, aren't you? So that's really interesting. And Shohini has a question, because Shohini has an insight. She can, unlike me, I can only read this selection, but Shohini has a wider insight into your other essay collection. So Shohini, do you want to ask your question?
Yes. Yeah, I was actually reading Cholandalinir Bibriti again, and I looked at how there's like a wide range of topics that your essays deal with, but it is like primarily focused on the experiences of marginalized women, the discrimination that they face. There is also an inquiry of feminist theory and also a critique of Savarna feminism in your writing, which I find is like very, very good, and it's very fascinating. I so also I also had I also had the chance to look at your other writings as well, like your literary writings as well, and you also deal with those issues in those writings as well. But my question to you is, does the writing of critical essays, the difference in the genre, the effort that you have to put in writing these essays, does it have an influence on how you view your own writing or how you approach your own writing? Is there a difference to how you write it? Because you write about, of course, the genres are different, like poetry and the fiction, it's different, and it is very different from the critical writings, but you ultimately talk about similar issues and you deal with them through different means. So my question is, how do you deal with these issues through different genres?
No. When I think this is a problem, and I should say about something about this, something about these issues, and the periodicals also. When the disaster happened, then I published the issue about disaster. When I think the water crisis, all the world, the water is very severe condition, and the people will not purchase the people will purchase water more than the price of petrol. Then the severe condition, I think. At 2005, I published this on 2005, because I like to aware the people to control their to control and consuming the water seriously, think about it. So I try to aware the people. And the state should aware the people, like polio, take polio, like they showed the advertisement, take polio all the babies. But state should always like that. State should advertise water consuming to they should advertise, or they should aware people consume water about your
Yes. Yeah,
aware
that is
them to
very
consuming water.
yes, the rigor with which you write about these issues, the persistence that you have. I was wondering, how does that influence your other writings, like your poems or your stories? How does that, that rigor, that effort?
My reflection, there was so many reflection. I write about river. My poetry, one of my poetry, the name of the poetry is River.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can see your point, Shohini. Everything that you do seems to
But
be
this
part
is
of
not the
one
place
work,
for
right? With different meanings.
reading my poetry. But that's a very interesting poetry. The name of the river, the poetry name River. এবং another poetry also river oriented or nature oriented. I am always like to live with nature.
So like writing different things, like, so I was wondering how, the same issues get translated into like different genres. Like, how do you approach it when you are writing, for example, in an essay, but how is it different when you write it, in the form of a poem? So, if you could elaborate on that.
Poem. About poem.
Yes, like the differences.
Most of the poem also there is another story behind the writings. Actually, I influenced or any news or any incident react me, then I write. Otherwise, I write when I am very pleased, then I write. When I am very sorrow, then I write. When I am very much angry, then I also write.
Okay.
But do you write the same kind of material? Do you write poems when you're angry, or do you write an essay when you're angry?
Yeah. When the Nandigram massacre happened, then I write Nepora Doimare Chirokal. You read Nepora Doimare Chirokal is in I belong to nowhere. You see the poem Nepora Doimare Chirokal.
Yes. So it's
takes the pet dog, pet cat take the cream like so.
Yes,
English.
I know that one very well. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I know that one. So it's a very condensed emotional form of writing, isn't it? Poetry, where for you, right? Whereas an essay is
actually poetry come from libido. Poetry come from libido. So when it is the reaction of some hormonal reaction. So when I become anger, then I also write. When I am very much pleased, very much emotional relationship attached with emotional relation, then I also write. When I was very much upset, some incident upset me. Rohit Vemula, I wrote about Rohit Vemula. And my last book, Bonchandalir Gatha, where I wrote a lot of writings at the period of pandemic.
Yes.
And it was a very calm and quiet. Fully I was alone in my room. at that period, the nature was calm and quiet. The birds came to my window, and actually, India is very noisy area. Noisy, here so many cars, vehicles goes there, and they shouted. But at that period, all are calm and quiet, and the birds are singing. The sound of so many sound I hear at that time, and I wrote a lot of writings, and there I mentioned about the labor. ওটা হচ্ছে কি বললি পরিযায়ী migrant, about migrant labor, and that period the word was very popular, migrant labor. And I also write last 10 days before, a student came to me. He was working, he was a PhD student. He is of Calcutta University, and his genre is about accounts. He is actually a student of literature, English literature, but he is at the point of accounts department, something account related. So he read about so many accountal article come to my writings. Economics, some economics come to my poetry. Relationship with the demand and supply and production. I mention this type of word in my writings, in my poetry writings, creative writings. Not only when the the migrant laborers were there are 10 or 11 migrants or labor were the train was over them on the rail line, and I write something in the calculation of the railway, the airways, and all the adjustment was not happened, so they do so this like this type of ideas, and I mentioned that.
I mean, it feels like as if you can't, when you talk about your writing, everything you talk about all of your writing together,
Actually, I do not consciously wrote it. I do not consciously wrote it. It was spontaneous, and I then at that time I wrote. And if you say me write another poem like this, I can do now.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like your essays explain your literary work, because they're often more direct, aren't they? But they still all feel like one work, right? I don't see sort of Kalyani, the essay writer, Kalyani, the poet, or so on. And everything just seems to be of one piece. But I mean, there are so many interesting things in here. I found it really, really fascinating. I have one question maybe later about feminism, but I wanted to ask Shayantan first whether he has any questions relating specifically to the essay writing, that kind of genre.
Oh, yes, I have actually two. Kalyani, he said that by anti-caste ecosystem of print culture periodicals. Many other periodicals, you mentioned Chaturtha Duniya. Your writings, I think, if I remember correctly, the first essay in the volume, which is Yet Consciousness Evades, it was published elsewhere. So they are all published in different periodicals. If you can tell us a little bit about all these periodicals that you have known closely.
And that particular article was my first essay. You mentioned now.
Tathapi Chaitanya.
And actually Dalit, actually Motua religions cult, Motua cult is to sing the song Bhakti Gitis, and after that they are involved in Kirtan. It was the tradition, but at that time it was the first program, that is it was at year, it was at the year 1993. 1993, the program happened in Bogula, the type of Motua Sammelan, the conference type. And they the organizers decide that we should say something, we should say some speeches about the about Horichand, Guruchand and their ideology and their workings, their motivation work about the society. And this this tradition now continuing for this conference time. Not only kirtan and songs, they are trying to conference Mutua Sammelon. This is the word Mutua Sammelon. And it is very much popular. So many villages organize this type of Sammelon.
Right. And another thing that strikes me when I'm reading your essays, Kalyanidhi, you are taking reference from books which we easily do not find in the librarian archive. It is written by scholars, anti-caste scholars, but I find it difficult to go back. So so many non-fiction writers from the the lower caste communities, they have published books. They seem to be also preserved in your writing. You refer to their work.
Actually, no. In book fair or any other bookshop, always I searching this type of books. I'm interested to collect this type of books. And I collected, I like history books, like feminist, others prominent feminists who are writings about, like Kalyani Bandyopadhyay, like Jayantanus Bandyopadhyay, and this type of writings, I when I read them, Devi Prasad Chattopadhyay, when I was actually when I first come to
I think there's a disruption.
Oh no, we lost her, haven't we? But the picture was frozen for a little bit. So let's see whether the Kalyani will come back. Hello. I mean, I just wanted to kind of say goodbye because unfortunately Kalyani experienced some technical difficulties. So that part of the conversation was cut slightly short, but we were just really about to finish anyway. So we would really like to thank all of us, thank Kalyani very, very warmly for this wonderful conversation. I mean, I learned so much and I love being in her presence. And so thank you also so much, Shayantan and Chohini. That was a wonderful
Pleasure.
question. That was a lovely conversation, and I feel we can always, these are always conversations that want you to kind of make you want to continue them in some other form. So I hope that everybody who's watching us just gets a bit of a flavor. And as I said, I just also really wanted to kind of warmly recommend this book again, because it really is the only way for non-Bangla speakers to get a sense of the essay writing kind of culture in these little magazines, which is just so exciting because there's just so much knowledge included in often very short articles. And as you said, Shayantan, often there is material included for a broader public that might otherwise be completely inaccessible to a lot of people. So I think in terms of educational potential and in creating a public sphere, right, where certain ideas can circulate that are otherwise maybe completely kind of suppressed, it's really just incredible to have a little insight, and yay for those who are Bangla speakers who can actually read her work in much more detail. So thank you all so much. Shayantan, did you want to say something?
No, thank you for giving me this opportunity to have this conversation. It was a lovely conversation, and I also had learned so many things. It reminded me of some wonderful moments and anecdotes. And I thank Bonington Gallery and CADALFEST for organizing this. As we know that we have 33 issues, as 25 issues, as Kalyani said that, and I think time will tell what Kalyani and her partner Shostri Acharya, who had been co-editing, helping Kalyani with this. Time will tell the merits of it, but I think it is not only say, but I'm very proud to say to know Kalyani, who has made this Dalit women's magazine. It's a unique one, and it's unique in so many ways. The imaginations, the hunger to bring in the stories of Australian Aborigines and thinking about in the context of Indian caste system, preserving the memory of the people who worked for the lower caste community, and they were the voices of the anti-caste thought, remembering them and documenting them. So it's unique in many ways. I wish the Neer Ritupatra 50 more years ahead.
Yes, and it's as you said, it is quite a unique journal, right? I mean, the periodical culture, Dalit periodical culture in India is enormous, varied, and exciting. But I think there's nothing like Neer, right? I'm relying on on your account, but from what I've heard, there is nothing quite like it. So it's a massive achievement. So thank you, Kalyani. I'm sure you'll see the end of it, and thank you all very much. Thank you, Bonington Gallery, for making this happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.